Welcome, Climate Viewers. Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News at ClimateViewer.com. Connect.climateviewer.com. Make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button. It's been a minute because I have been completely inundated with a project. I haven't been able to tell you guys about it very much, but I'd like to share it with you real quick before we start the video. Obviously, tonight we're going to be talking about artificial sunlight, satellites in space, AI data centers, crazy geoengineering ran by AI in space, and much more. But for those who've been wondering, why has Jim been missing in action? That is because in the very near future, we will be releasing something that is going to change the world. And I hope that you guys are ready for this, because Renette Cinnamon and I have been working on the petition for rulemaking, which will be released in the near future. And we have a lot of people who are interested in this. It's huge. It's landmark. I have told you that banning chemtrails at the local state level is not going to be effective in changing the clouds, and it's time to put my money where my mouth is. So here we are. The paper is almost done. We're looking at possibly in the next week this being made public. And if you'd like to know more, or if you'd like to be a co-petitioner, please contact me. You can do that on connect.climateviewer.com. My email is jim@climateviewer.com. It is at the bottom. You can also subscribe to my Substack newsletter. All of the details from this video will be posted there tonight. And we're in business. This petition for rulemaking is going to be explosive. Let's just put it that way. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Tonight, we're here to talk about freaking crazy ideas like space-based geoengineering. And we're going to start with artificial mirrors in space, making artificial sunlight. As the title states, Reflect, which is the company we're going to talk about first, in addition to XAI, Starlink, Google's Suncatcher. We're going to go through a bunch of them real quick. But previously on ClimateViewer.news, which is my Substack, you can read the Sun Gun, Deadliest Weapon and Weather Control, about the history of space-based mirrors and the like. Well, that brings us to today's topic, Reflect Orbital, which is proposing exactly that. Sunlight after dark, sunlight on demand. The idea, Reflect Orbital delivers a spot of sunlight on demand with a constellation of in-space mirrors. It's precise. They can focus the sun anywhere they want. Configurable, on demand, precise and uniform. No ground-based infrastructure, obviously, because it's in freaking space. Information on how much sunlight misses the Earth a year. But basically, sun here, dark here, space mirrors here, reflect sunlight on dark part of Earth. Anybody thinks this sounds like a good idea? Let me know in the comments, because to me, this sounds like the dumbest freaking idea in ever. Okay? This sounds dangerous. Making fire on demand. That's kind of where I went to begin with. Oh, but it's going to be 5 kilometers wide. Well, what if you focus that in a little bit tighter? Things you got to consider. So their plan currently, 2 satellites by next year or this year, approximately 0.1 lux. Let me see if I can make that just a little bigger. 0.1 lux for 5 minutes, comparable to full moon. Next year, 36 satellites, 2 lux for 2.5 hours, comparable to street lighting. 2028, 100 lux for 2 hours, comparable to indoor work areas, 2 lux 24/7, comparable to street lighting. And then by 2030, up to 5,000 lux minutes, comparable to daylight. And they have 2 other charts down here. But by 2035, up to 36,000 lux for hours, comparable to daylight on demand. 50,000 satellites, all reflecting the sun on the dark side of the earth, where I'm pretty sure that, my circadian rhythm is going to be disrupted by some stupid technocrat who decided, hey, I wanted to power a solar power plant, or I wanted to, offer lighting services at night. God forbid you just don't have a moon. Oh, they're like, oh, well, no moons tonight. We'll light up the sky. We maintain strict exclusion zones for astronomy in sensitive environments. Oh, how thoughtful of you. And then they've got their whole frequently asked question page on here. But this is not some far-fetched idea. This is already in the process of being made. And this isn't the first time it's been done. The Znanya satellite, how a Russian space mirror briefly lit up the night sky in 1993. So this is not the first time this has happened. This has already been tested and happened. And this was done by a Russian scientist who deployed this jewel right here. And, with, additional plans to do it again and again, but they failed on their next deployment. I've got an original website, it's from archive.org here, showing pronouncing it again, Znamya. Okay. The Znamya space reflector deployment, February 4th, 1999 here. This was when they thought they were going to do it again. Obviously, they did it in 93. And a nice little infographic of how this works. We can see here. Sun here, reflected off of mirrors, focused spot of light on the freaking dark side of the earth. Not a good idea. But yeah, mirror fails to deploy, experiment abandoned 1999. They did it in 93. All the details, you'll be able to read all this stuff. Environmental concerns, it's probably a bad idea, but we only plan on doing this over infrastructure poor cities and industrial zones. Anyway, this project was abandoned, but we have a new startup which currently has applications with the FCC to launch these satellites. So that's what's bringing us to this current point. More information on that, it's literally on Wikisuckia. I should have checked the Grokpedia page on this and see what they have. But the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because now you can get involved in this today. Darksky.org, shout out to them, all credits to them. I'm going to go ahead and drop this one in chat for those who are just just can't wait to for the article tomorrow. Article will be on ClimateViewer.news. That is ClimateViewer.news. That is my Substack. All of the links that you're seeing in this video will be there so you can get involved. The United States FCC agency responsible for authorizing satellite launches and operations, reviewing 2 proposals of unprecedented scale and consequence. If approved, they would alter the night sky as we know it, with impacts that would be increasingly difficult, if not impossible, to reverse. So, you might want to get in on this. Plan to reflect orbitals plan to illuminate Earth at night, and SpaceX plan to launch 1 million satellites into low Earth orbit. To put that number into perspective, there are currently about 1,400 14,500 active satellites in low Earth orbit. This would go from 14,500 to 1,014,500 if approved. Where Dark Sky stands, Dark Sky does not oppose satellite technology. Satellites play an important role in modern life, but the organization does oppose unchecked expansion without oversight and full environmental review, particularly when technologies pose real and lasting risks to the global nighttime environment. In alignment with the 5 principles of responsible outdoor lighting that guide Dark Sky's programs and initiatives, and consistent with our position on satellite mega constellations, we urge the FCC to close long-standing regulatory gaps that allow satellite deployment to proceed without environmental review under the National Environmental Protection Act, NEPA. So, until adequate testing and review are completed, both proposals should be rejected in their current form. Reflect on that. Exactly, Robert. So, public comment period is now open. You have your ability to say, just say no. How about freak no? How about no? And all of the instructions are here. The instructions, I'm going to link to this in the Substack article so you can get it. These are the application numbers here. For those who haven't followed the channel very long, I always want to try to get people involved when possible, bring attention to this, because this is something that, we have a limited time on, and you need to be able to get your comments in. So, create a FCC Cores account, log into the FCC filing system, find the application, link here, prepare your comment. They even have proposed templates for you to fill out. So it will give you the instructions on what you want to actually write, fill in the blanks, hit submit, or freestyle it, or go use AI to write something really creative if you're not the creative type. But regardless, they have one for Reflect Orbital and SpaceX. You can just download this copy and edit it and then submit it. Upload your comment, important selections. Select no for the committee filing request. Choose comments as a pleading type. Make sure that your FRN is blank if you're filing as an individual. Enter your contact information. Anonymous comments are not allowed. And select no for confidential treatment because you want to be publicly on the record when you're filing a public comment. And then hit submit. It's really that simple. Now, in a previous video, we covered SpaceX's proposal. And this never made it to my Substack because obviously I've been working real hard on this petition for rulemaking, in addition to multiple other things. But regardless, in my last video, this was 3 months ago. Sorry, guys. Life does get in the way. Elon Musk's AI space geoengineering plan. And in that video, which is available on my YouTube, Rumble, it's on X. But, if you're not following at ClimateViewer on YouTube, at ClimateViewer on Rumble, and at ClimateViewer on X, that's where I'm mainly posting my stuff. And then everything eventually ends up on my Substack. Elon Musk proposes AI satellite shield to fight climate change by dimming the sun. So not only is this an AI data center in space that he's proposing with these million satellites, he's also said, hey, the solar sails that are on these satellites, we could use the AI in the data centers that are thinking autonomously to reorganize themselves to block out sun. Same guy said AI could kill everybody on the planet. Just saying, quinky dink, I think not. Elon's next big swing, a Dyson sphere, satellites that harness sun's power. You just can't make this up. And here's the tweet. A large solar-powered AI satellite constellation would be able to prevent global warming by making tiny adjustments in how much solar energy reached Earth. November 3rd, the day before my birthday. Tweet right here. My response: this is the dumbest thing Elon ever said. Repost if you agree. Space geoengineering. And there's the tweet itself. And of course, a lot of people agree. It's freaking nuts. But yeah, there's the satellite. 26.4 million views on this. And it really didn't make the news. I mean, I'm surprisingly, it should have made much more news than it did. But regardless, I'm going to, I have all the links from that video as well. I'm probably going to just stuff them into the article as well. Google's Suncatcher program. Project Suncatcher is a moonshot exploring a new frontier, equipping solar-powered satellite constellations with TPUs and free space optical links to one day scale machine learning compute in space. Why are they talking about this so much? So the idea is pretty simple. Right now, especially after the Green New scam, the climate cult has realized that their wind turbines and their solar power is not going to be enough to power these mega data centers like xAI's Colossus. These server farms have massive implications for so much. Their power usage is insane. Right now, Meta is buying nuclear power plants to try to power their data centers. They use millions, if not billions, of gallons of water from local municipalities to try to cool them. In addition, just recently, I watched a video on which was pretty fascinating. I'm going to bring it up real quick now that I think about it. On the idea that not only are these a pretty big deal for power use and water use, they're also creating infrasound. And that's
if you're in the demographic of people,
that's a big damn deal right here. One of my favorite YouTubers out there, Ben Jordan, just did a video 3 days ago called Data Centers Behaving Like Sonic Weapons. And what he found was that when he went to xAI's Colossus, that there was an unbelievable amount of infrasound generated by these data centers, which are also making people sick. And it's not just xAI's Colossus. He went to several different places. And in many cases, these data centers are making people sick and people are fed up. So all of this is leading to the eventuality of, well, we can do away with the water usage by being in space where it's cold. We could do away with the power usage by using solar panels in space. The Ben Jordan video is phenomenal. I think Stella's the one that actually gave me the link. Phenomenal video. Watch. I love Ben Jordan's channel. If you guys haven't subbed him, definitely sub him. But that's a whole nother issue associated with it. So water usage, power usage, freaking infrasound making people sick as dogs. These things are just terrible for everything. So the next best idea is, well, let's stick them in space. Well, here's the problem that I foresee with that. If we already have an alignment problem with AI. If you haven't been following the subject of AI being deceptive, AI saying, yes, I'm going to cut myself off, but I'm willing to kill people in order to, prevent myself from being deleted, exfiltrating itself to other servers. AI has been behaving badly. Now, what happens when you can't have a book bag like Sam Altman, who allegedly has a kill switch in it to shut off OpenAI should it try to, delete the world. What if the servers are no longer in, Memphis, Tennessee, and you can't just go flip a switch to turn it off? You take that AI, you put it on a satellite, you put it on a distributed node network. Now they're interconnected to the internet because there's no way for you to talk to it just locally or run it in your terminal. It's connected to the internet. It's live and connected to every device on the planet. And it's in freaking space where it could possibly decide, you know what? Hey, the people on the ground are telling me to turn myself off or fly at this altitude. But instead, you know what I want to do? I want to turn all of my my solar panels the same direction to block as much sunlight as possible. Am I crazy here? I don't know if you guys know about my history, but I'm right like 99.5% of the time. And my gut on this tells me that this is a horribly bad idea. This is giving me Cyberpunk 2077 vibes. So the idea of putting space-based data centers with artificial intelligence that could potentially hijack the internet, hijack controls over its own, what it's doing, and an inability to turn it off is starting to feel like the Matrix or something. This is a terrible freaking idea on all accounts. Not to mention a million freaking satellites in low Earth orbit. Doesn't sound like a hunky-dory day to me. But they're not the only ones. That's the worst part. Star Cloud data centers in space. Company founded summer 2024. And these guys are at it too. We want to put data centers in space. Well, I mean, who else wants to do it? Inside the startup launching AI data centers into space. China wants to get in on this. China plans space-based AI data centers, challenging Musk's SpaceX ambitions. What could possibly go? I mean, as if the AI race wasn't already bad enough. Now we're in a space AI race. And I just cannot think of a worse freaking trajectory for AI to take than possibly autonomous devices in space connected to the freaking internet. What? I'm trying not to curse. I swear I'm trying to. God, please, simmer down, Jim. Pray for me, people. I need it because all I want to do is curse and punch my screen. But this is looking bad. Other companies pursuing space-based AI infrastructure. Aetherflux, Blue Origin, Google's Project Suncatcher, NVIDIA, OpenAI, SpaceX, and StarCloud. This list is only going to freaking grow. That's the oh God, Dirk, why would you do that? So okay, Dirk, I'm going to go ahead and just say this for the record. Obviously, I covered the atmospheric lens and the space-based mirrors for a reason as a weapon, and potential for weather modification. The only thing I haven't recovered recently is space-based solar power. The idea of catching power in space and beaming it as microwaves down to the surface. We will be doing that in a future video. That is a promise because there is a long history to that and it has not been covered recently. But needless to say, I hope that you guys will go to this article on darksky.org and put your comments in, because the only stupid questions are the ones you don't ask, and the only thing that you can regret when this comes to pass is not having spoke up. So to recap, Reflect Orbital wants to make mirrors in space to put sunlight wherever, whenever, and your informed consent is not an option. So your only opportunity to say, I don't like this idea. I like the idea of a circadian rhythm. I like the idea that night should be freaking dark, is for you to make a comment. If you don't like the idea of Elon Musk putting 1 million satellites into low Earth orbit, strapping AI on it, and it could possibly be a geoengineering mega constellation, you might want to put your comment in. So please get your feces consolidated, put your thoughts on paper, submit them. I will be doing that. I hope that you will do that. I'm going to continue. When I get done with this, I'm going to write the Substack article. Then I'm getting right back on working on this EPA FAA petition for rulemaking. 33 states have voiced their opinion and said that they are sick and tired of planes striping up the sky and blocking out the sun. We have come up with a legitimate way to petition the federal government to do something about this. With the current administration, we have a possibility of something actually being done about this. But time is short. If you want to be part of this solution, because a lot of people complain about problems, I want to be pragmatic. I want to focus on solutions. I believe that Renette and I have devised a very good solution. We have run it by many different people who have reviewed it, and everybody's in agreement that our arguments are very strong, our demands are realistic, and will make an extreme dent, if not clear the skies. Yeah, now, hope for the best, expect the worst, but doing nothing is not an option. The only thing necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And the only thing necessary for my grandchildren not to be able to see stars at night is for us to not even try. So we try as we might. This, may end up not having the effect that we want, but at the very least, we're going to make our voices heard. So I encourage everybody to join Renette and I in this EPA FAA petition for rulemaking. I said it, with my chest on ClimateViewer.news, and you guys can go ahead and read that now because it's already up. ClimateViewer.news, and the article is Banning Chemtrails, How to Win. And in it, I laid it out. This was March 2nd of last year. This petition has been in the process of being made for more than 6 months. And I want to give credit where credit is due. Renette has done all of the heavy lifting on writing this thing. Of course, I am the science nerd. I'm coming through doing the auditing and making sure that everything's correct. We've got lawyers in the background who are also reviewing it. Sometimes they make our life harder than it needs to be. But regardless, this is a solution that I think will make a difference. And I hope that you guys will participate. When we do officially announce this, we've got some very large organizations that potentially are going to be co-petitioners on this. We will be making a landing page where everybody will get the same kinds of instructions that I showed you here earlier. That, will basically direct everybody to, here's all the co-petitioners, here's what what we're asking, and here's what we expect to happen. U.S. government cannot stop these programs if they wanted to. The program is full on worldwide. Michael, I hate that you're a doomer. I'm just going to address this comment because I can't help not. Because there's always these naysayers who are in the Dane-bred, planes don't make contrails. Contrails don't exist. I know because my eyes. I don't know anything about Dunning-Kruger. I'm on the top of Mount Stupid, and I'm convinced that I know what I'm talking about. No, none of the people that the chemtrail community idolizes knows a damn thing about geoengineering or aviation-induced cloudiness, contrail-induced cirrus homogenitus, cirrus homomutatus, or how the hell to deal with it. I actually know how to get rid of it. And the technology is available today. And the solutions that we're providing are real. So you can speculate all you want. The difference is that once this document leaves my hands and goes on the federal record, there's going to be a lot of splaining to do from the chemtard community, because they have long held the belief that somehow banning weather modification and geoengineering at the state level would do something about it. It did nothing, because you're not even talking to the right people. States cannot regulate aviation emissions. States cannot regulate how flights are planned. How do they avoid ice supersaturated regions? Are they even told not to make contrails that turn into cirrus clouds? If you don't understand any of this and you believe that every single plane, 100,000+ flights per day, 40 million+ flights per year, if you believe that every single one of these has a pump and a pipe on it, then, as we say in the South, bless your heart. You're not going to be part of the solution. And the people that you follow are going to be bursting hemorrhoids when they read this petition for rulemaking. And that is exactly my goal. Because at the end of the day, I'm about pragmatic solutions, not fear porn. Fear is the enemy. If you did not learn anything, if the only book you read this year, if you're only going to read one book this year, read your Bible. And then if you don't take away from it the main plot, I'll give it away. Fear not. This channel is about educating people based on the best information, the facts, not blowing smoke up your ass, definitely not clickbait titling. Does this artificial sunlight and AI geoengineering, does this sound like a clickbait fear porn title to anybody? Let me know in the comments, because what I'm telling you is these are real things, and there is a current public comment period, and you can do something about it by raising your voice now. So do so. And the same is true with this sky pollution problem. We know how it works. We know when it's going to happen because we can predict it, and we can do something about it if there is a will for people to recognize that they don't have everything figured out and that they still have some learning to do. The reason why I have not an expert up here is because I live by the saying, always a student, sometimes a teacher, never an expert. In doing this EPA FAA petition, what I have learned during the last 6 months of doing this is that everything I thought I knew a year ago, I have to question. This is called metacognition. You know, the ability to think about your thinking. Most people never even question why they believe what they believe. I constantly question, are my current beliefs true? And therefore, I actively seek out people who disagree with me. I will stand on this firm as, Stone Mountain, that every one of these people in the chemtrail fear porn industrial complex, they fear me for a reason. They block me. They ban me. They don't want you to know about me because they certainly won't debate me. If they did, all of their arguments would be easily destroyed. And I don't care. I've got an open invitation for anybody that wants to have a friendly conversation about this. If you want to make it, mutual combat online, I'm willing to go there too. But regardless, Nobody you're listening to who is talking about geoengineering knows what the hell they're talking about. And I will stand on that firm, and you can send this video to any of them. Ask them, hey, why don't you talk to Jim Lee? How come you won't debate Jim Lee? Why won't you interview Jim Lee? And the answer will be, I was told by other people in the chemtrail fear porn industrial complex that Jim Lee is a shill or an agent or something like that. And nah, guys, like, I'm literally a sheriff's deputy in Sumter, South Carolina. I work 40 hours a week. And then I have all kinds of other obligations. And on top of that, I'm still trying to educate the public, write articles, work on a freaking petition for rulemaking, all the while, dealing with people who are just so convinced that they're right, and watching them. I could literally do a video every single night responding to the stupidity of the things that I see just on X. Like, I could do a show every night just based on the X posts for today of retarded chemtrail posts. Hell, I might do that. Once I'm done with this petition and I have my studio and we start this new podcast, I probably am going to do that. Because why? Because I can. And because they can't say my name. I'm Voldemort to them. I can say their names all day long. So fear me, love me, hate me. I don't really care. At the end of the day, facts don't care about your feelings, and neither do I. These are the facts as presented by me, Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News. Please go over to connect.climateviewer.com. Hit that subscribe button on this video you're watching right now. Tell your friends about it, because I'm shadow banned. I'm kind of like the Grateful Dead. The only way I'm going to get around is by being down with OPP and going on other people's podcasts, or by benevolent souls like you who share my material and encourage others to watch it. So please do so. And if you can at all, if you're able to, especially now that it's tax season, I'm trying to build a studio so I can get out of this bedroom and make more videos on a regular basis. I'll come home from work every day and make a damn video if you guys will help me build this studio. Please donate. Again, that is available at connect.climateviewer.com. I would greatly appreciate it. God bless you all for tuning in. And I'm going to go work on that article right now and get it up, because Lord knows I probably haven't written an article in quite some time either. Oh my gosh. November 30th. Guys, I am such a slacker. I am such a slacker. I'm sorry. I apologize. Admonish me. But I'm going to get this article up there tonight. And love you, mean it. Please share the video, hit like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. And remember, guys, I do talk a lot of crap, and I do, pick on the people who are, making a whole bunch of waves and clickbait titles and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about the ideas they're putting out there. It's about the fear that they're putting into people. I don't think that that's right. I think that that's a bully tactic made by narcissist capitalists. And I just think it's evil. So that being said, I will still try to be true to my Christian roots and attack ideas, not people. People are flawed. I am not perfect. I am flawed as well. So pray for me and pray for our success with this petition. Catch you on the next one, guys. If this video resonates with you, leave me a comment, because I love hearing from y'all. First time here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Yeah! Remember, it would be impossible for me to do this without your support, so please join my Patreon or buy me a coffee on PayPal. And always, attack ideas, not people.